Hey guys, my name is Kendrick and welcome to ENFP Mail. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Pascal Duverger. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Duverger,
Duverger.
French.
Is that French?
Yeah.
You have a French background? Like your family came from France?
I'm Haitian. My family's Haitian.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Haitians had a French background.
Oh, yeah. It's all like broken French out there.
Broken French? Gotcha. All
hmm
right, dude. So let's go start off with your Myers-Briggs personality type. What are you?
I'm an INFP.
And do you resonate with the description of what an INFP is, as well as the functions?
Yeah, yeah. The descriptions, yeah. I felt like I was reading my life out. And then the functions, once I got the functions, I was like, oh my goodness, everything just makes sense now. Like seeing into the matrix.
Now, there's two kinds of INFP. There is the standard INFP that uses introverted feeling first and then extroverted intuition second. And there is the jumper type, which is the introverted feeling first, but then they skip that extrovert intuition a second and they go straight to introvert sensing. Would you
So
say
they skip it?
some are the jumpers? Now,
Oh,
would
wow.
you say you are the standard where you don't skip that extrovert intuition, you go straight?
No, I definitely don't skip any. Yeah, any is like my favorite function.
Okay, now the difference between NE and SI is that people with NE likes freedom. They actually seek freedom, while people with SI, they seek control and they try to avoid chaos. So would you say
Oh.
it's more important to have freedom than control?
Yeah. Sometimes when something tries to like lock me into a commitment, sometimes I feel like I just need some out. I need to find a way out so I can be able to choose this commitment rather than be trapped by it. Yeah, so freedom. Yeah,
Now,
for sure.
with INFPs, they are usually referred to as somebody that is self above tribe, so that they always put themselves first before everyone else. Would you say that's about accurate for you?
Self above tribe. Yeah. It happens in so many tiny little ways in life too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, self above tribe.
So can you give us an example of when kind of like you pissed off the tribe because you were being selfish?
I pissed off the tribe because I was being selfish. Oh, my dad when I was a kid. It's time to eat. He'd be like, everybody come downstairs to eat. And I'd be on the computer, just really into whatever I was doing. And like he got frustrated one day. He was like, you don't pay attention to the world around you. And he's got so mad. He's like, you need to come downstairs to eat. That was one time where I pissed off the tribe that was downstairs following, what our dad said. And I was just upstairs, like doing my own thing. Yeah, that was one time. That happened a couple times.
But it
Uh,
sounds like you don't do it on purpose, though.
no, I mean, like I don't go out of my way to piss off the tribe. It's like I love what I'm doing so much. I'm not even aware of the world around me. And then he's just like, what are you doing? Or sometimes I will prioritize myself over the tribe. Yeah. There was one time, like he wanted me to meet somebody and everybody went downstairs to meet the person. And I was just like, nope, I don't want to meet them. Nope. And I just like bounced and I just went up to my room and was like, nope, just leave me alone. And like that kind of pissed him off. Yeah. I don't know if I have any. I don't go out of my way to piss people off, though. Definitely not. Yeah.
So that's what they always say with the IP types, which is they tend to get tribe tidal waves where you accumulate so much annoyance from the tribe as a result of picking yourself first. And I think
Oh
for you,
yeah.
you don't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Though. You don't do it on purpose,
Um.
but it happens.
It's. I guess when I say I don't do it on purpose, I'm not like I'm gonna piss off the tribe. It's more like I don't want to do that. This is what I want to do, and so I guess it's kind of on purpose, but not intentionally trying to piss off the tribe, but trying to satisfy myself over the tribe. then it's like it is on purpose, but just not intentionally. I don't care about. I'm not concerned whether they're pissed off or not. I'm concerned whether I'm self-satisfied or not, and that's what pisses them off.
Right,
It's
right.
like you don't care about anybody else. Whatever.
Now, do you ever take the time to consider that if things work for other people or not, or do you mostly focus on yourself? I don't, I don't care
no,
if it works for other people. Yeah, sorry.
If you're saying that you don't care if it works for other people, or if that's something I think.
No, well, I'm like just giving you an example. So people with strong use of extrovert thinking always looks at other people and say, okay, does this work for everybody? You know, so let's say you make okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're planning to go on vacation. So let's say you're going to Vegas, right? And let's say you're the person planning this vacation of yours with some friends or family member. Would you take the time to kind of figure out what works for everybody? Like, is it important, or do you only?
If I'm going on a vacation?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm doing something that's like difficult, I just try to look at what works, and the way I find out what works is by looking at other people. Like, as it works for everybody. But there are certain things that I kind of like when it comes to looking for a job or something like that, I'm like, what's going to work for me? Because I have to sell myself, because I can't just do what everybody does, or I'm going to be expected. I'm going to have the same expectations as everybody. But when it comes to like things that are not personal, don't require me to sell myself or something like that. Like, I look at what works for everybody. I'm just like, what works? Just give me the answer. What works? Let's get to it.
So you won't take the time to kind of investigate what works. You just want them to tell you what works for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll go on the internet and like look real quick, but it'd be so much better if somebody's just like, here, this is how you do it. And I get to run with it, because I definitely don't like to sit there for a long time trying to figure it out. I just want the answer. Let's go. Yeah.
I see.
I don't.
Now, let's talk about your animals real quick, because right now you're a little confused about your animals, right? So you said you think that consume is your first animal. Why do you think consume is your first animal?
Like, I watched some Dave Superpower videos about play and all that stuff, and I'm maybe reconsidering. I definitely thought consume was my first animal, was because, like, me getting into topology and stuff like that, like, I consume so much, and I don't really do much with the information. I consume a lot of it. And even like self-help books and stuff like that, like, let's say, yeah, just anything in general. If I have to do something, like, I'll consume a lot of information before I do anything with the information. And it's almost like a form of procrastination. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel productive because I'm learning about this thing, but I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just in the comfort of learning and not really doing anything yet. So I guess that would be lower blast. But yeah, so I think I'm strong in consume for sure.
Do you have trouble getting things started then?
Yes. I have trouble getting things started. So that would be low blast, or is that low play? I thought play was like exerting energy.
Well, play is expending energy, but it's also kind of like when you get information, you tend to get it from other people. So you'll have conversations with other people. You might go to forums and ask people for questions, which is where I found you in that personality cafe. Yeah. It's also with like sharing stories. So maybe when you're having a discussion with someone, you're more, it's more like a back and forth conversation as opposed to just you kind of lecturing somebody. So when you talk to people, do you feel like you go to lecturing mode, kind of like teaching them concepts? Or do you kind of share stories about yourself and kind of want to hear what the other person has to say about that also?
I don't lecture as much. I definitely share stories and bounce back and forth. Sometimes I can lecture if I've consumed a lot, and then at a later date, I'll maybe blast what I've consumed. But I think I definitely do the bounce back and forth more than the lecturing. Yeah.
And do you have a tendency to preserve your energy, or do you usually go out and, do a bunch?
I preserve my energy. Yeah.
Big time.
I can be real lazy in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely as far as we know, you definitely have consume and sleep as your first two. Now we just don't know which one's first or second at this point, but we'll try to figure that out today. From the sound of things, I don't see you being play last, because I think you can joke around from what I can see. Because I'll give you an example. So one of my sister, I have two sisters. So my youngest
Yeah.
sister has, I think, lead play. And my sister, who's in the middle child, I think she has play last. So what happens is we get together in a big group and we'll tell a joke and we'll throw gasoline to the fire and the joke becomes a bigger joke and everyone's laughing.
Hmm?
Then my sister, who has play last, will start blasting like a concept, like a scientific concept. And everything just becomes awkward and it just disrupts the flow of that, like that banter.
Oh, is it because like she's too serious or something?
Yes, exactly. Way too serious because she
Ah, okay. Yeah,
just,
that's not me.
you know,
So I'm probably blast last. I'm blast last.
well, I mean, are you someone that can crack jokes and,
Yeah, I crack jokes. I'm not a very serious person all the time.
so when you're with
I'm
people,
definitely somebody cracks. Oh yeah, I'm cracking jokes. Yeah.
yeah, okay, there's no way in hell you are play last.
Ah, okay, okay, that's good. I didn't want to be blast last, but all right, cool.
But
I'll
then you
take
also
it.
said that you have trouble with procrastination and you have a sense of humor. Not saying people with play last doesn't have a sense of humor. It just doesn't come out as often. So clearly you're a
Okay.
blast last and you probably have play third. It's a demon, but it's not, it's like your hobby, like you go to personality cafe, right? And you
Yeah.
like to ask, you like to have conversations with people in the forum. So that's kind of like your hobby, like you go there as kind of like for fun, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda. It's
But
kind
then,
of consumed play blast a little bit.
but you said you preserve your energy more than you expend it. So
Yeah. Yes.
the sleep goes before play. So your play is third. So from what I can tell right now, your play and then your blast. That's your last two. So now we have to figure out
Okay.
what your first and second one is. So we have to kind of,
Okay.
so kind of like
Dang.
tell me about tell me about yourself when you were growing up, like when you were a kid, like you're in elementary school. Kind of like tell us, what do you usually do? Like first thing in the morning, afternoon, in the evening. Um,
Um.
what were you like?
Okay. So as a kid, like I would, I never liked to do homework. I always was playing instead of homework. Like if I came home from school, like at school, I'd just be playing around with kids. A lot of physical play, like shoving. I remember when WWE was like WWF was popular, and they used to do like the low blow. We all used to do like low blows to each other. It was really weird. And then when I would come home, my father
That is
was,
weird.
yeah, that is weird. Yeah. When I would come home, my dad's ISTJ and he has masculine SI and masculine PE. So he's like, you need to do your work first, then you can go and play. But I would get home before my dad. So I'd get all my playing. I'd run outside and look at ant hills and stuff. And then once my father came home, like, it's like, it was almost like Toy Story. Like, the toys are like alive and the kid comes home and they're like dead again. Like, once my dad came home, I'm doing homework, like, as if I was doing it like the entire day. So I always put like play over work. And I'm not talking about like the animal play. I'm just talking about like physical, running outside, maybe playing video games or something like that. Once my father came home, that's when I like locked down and did my homework and stuff like that and acted like I was some good kid, but he never saw I was just procrastinating all day. So that was me as a kid. That was pretty much, that was it. Yeah. Running wild until the parents got home and then just acting like nothing happened.
Okay, so based on your story, the only thing that you proved was that you definitely have blast last.
Yeah. Oh man.
um,
Dang.
now there is something interesting that I got from your story though, and
Yeah.
that's kind of your story with WWE. I, I'm a huge WWE fan, and when I was a kid, I used to wrestle with all my cousins.
Yeah.
Like I
Rock
actually,
bottom and all that.
yeah, I still watch it right now. Actually, I'm not even I'm not ashamed of it. I love it. You know, uh,
I
so
stopped once they were like, it's fake. And I was like, oh, man.
I
I
don't
wish
care if
it
it's
wasn't
fake. It's
fake.
awesome. So dude, here's what's interesting though. You said you like to go to school and you like to play around with other kids and you like to shove other kids and you like to low blow other kids, right? Um, that is usually an indicator that you have kinesthetic in your sexual modalities,
What is that? Oh,
meaning
kinesthetic.
you're
Sounds like
either
an SE.
you're either masculine, feminine, or double masculine.
Mm. So how does it work? Like if if I have masculine TE, well, we didn't get to the sexual modalities yet.
Well, no,
So
not yet. But
okay. So double masculine would be what? Masculine FI, masculine NE, or what?
Masculine SI first, and then masculine TE second. That would be a double masculine. And then if you were masculine feminine, you would definitely have masculine SI first, and then feminine TE.
Okay.
Now, here's what's confusing to me, right? Because you think you're feminine masculine based on before we had this interview. Now, what I'm trying to figure out right now, because when you told me your story earlier, like you said, I don't care what's going on around me. I only care about my own world. You know, I don't care. Like if I'm in my computer and doing my own stuff, you know, who cares about everyone else, right?
Yes.
Like, because as long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters, right? So I want to dive deeper. I want to dive deeper into your introvert feeling first before we can kind of.
Okay.
I don't want to conclude anything until we have all the facts on the table. Right?
Okay.
When you hang out with how would you react if someone goes up to you? Do you have any brothers or sisters, by the way?
I got a little brother, I got a little sister.
Okay, if someone in let's say a coworker goes up to you and starts making fun of your brothers or sisters, how would you react to that?
Somebody went up to my little brother and my little sister.
No, just went up to you and let's say, oh, you know, your brother's an idiot or something. How would you react to that? Like
no, they don't get to call my brother an idiot. That's my brother. I can call my brother an idiot, but they can't call my brother an idiot.
I see.
I've had my friends do that, and I was like, no, you can't talk. Don't even talk about my brother. Just like.
So that really upset you with someone bad.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. And what about facts? Are you pretty good at remembering numbers and key details about your life?
Oh, about my life, or just in general?
Are you an organized person? Let's start with that.
No, hell no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I really wish I was.
Okay, because I'm trying to figure out right now. What about, are you good with birthdays? Do you remember people's birthdays and stuff?
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, if I know the birthday and I've heard it like at least over 3 times, I can remember it.
Okay, so you're pretty good with birthdays.
Yeah.
What about scheduling for work and stuff? Are you pretty good with showing up on time for work?
No, I had to recently adopt the calendar philosophy. I had to get a calendar and write down my schedules because I used to forget when I was working, and even when I know the time, I'll get late still.
What about your intuition? Like when you let's say you're hanging out with a bunch of people, do you pick up things from other people, and then are you pretty certain about what you pick up about them, like their behavioral patterns, for example?
Yeah, there's always like room for doubt, but it's just like a strong idea I can't shake. Like somebody will say something, do something, act a certain way, and it'll give me an idea, and I'll be like, I think this person is either doing this thing or this person feels this way. I don't know 100%, but like I'm at least like 80, 90% sure about that.
So you're pretty
until I have like contradictory evidence. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then, would you say you're more visual or you're more auditory? Like, do you learn better?
Visual.
So if do you learn better if someone were to show you like a diagram on a board, or if you were listening to like an audiobook?
Diagram,
big time.
Yeah. Or just like physical motion, like if somebody's like, you have to, if you're gonna like turn, like if somebody's teaching you how to drive and they're teaching you how to do a 3-point turn or something like that, somebody tells me it in a book, I don't know what to do, but somebody shows me in the car, boom, instantaneously, almost, I know exactly what to do.
Okay, interesting. All right, I think you might be spot on then earlier when you said you have feminine introverted sensing and masculine extroverted thinking, because
okay.
Sorry, yeah, you wanted to say something?
So that would mean that I have masculine extroverted intuition.
Yes, it would actually mean you have masculine extrovert intuition
Okay,
as well.
that's how I did it in my head. I was like, it seems like my NE is more masculine than my SI because I'm more like I'll argue with people about my NE. Like if I come up with something, I'll
Yeah,
be like, it's hard to convince me against it.
I see. Now, I think what really confirmed for me that you have masculine TE is the fact that no one talks shit about family. You know that's a very masculine TE function right there. You know, because I just did an interview with another INFP and she was double feminine, and I asked her the same question as you, right? Like, what would you say if someone tells you, hey, your brother's an idiot, and she's like, oh yeah, you're probably right. He is an idiot. You know, it's like it's like very movable, right? Like very like go with the flow.
No, okay.
You know, and all for you is like no one messes with my family. You know, no one says shit about my family.
Yeah,
I'll give
it's not even just talk shit. It's like it's also like I've had friends post pictures of my family members, and I'm like, you have no right to do anything with my family. It's like sometimes it's too much. I recognize it's too much, but I just don't like that.
Well, what about you though? What if people make fun of you? Are you pretty chill with it?
Yeah. Sometimes too chill.
Like if someone
I mean, sometimes it's funny. It's fun. Sometimes it's funny for me.
Oh, when people make fun of you?
Sometimes, yeah. If it's nothing like too crazy and it's just like a joke, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, Pascal, you know, you're screwing up your computer's audio again or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Typical you.
I just met you, man. I just met you.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. Okay. So you definitely have feminine FI because it's movable, and when people joke around about you kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
Okay, that's what that is. Okay.
You're pretty chill, like pretty like you don't fight people over your identity so much. You're like, okay, that's funny. That's funny, yeah.
Oh, I didn't recognize that was feminine FI. Wow.
Yeah, because like when people like say something about you, you don't feel like you're getting a direct attack. It's kind of like a joke, right? Like, okay.
Yeah.
But then when someone when someone did like even the smallest thing about your family.
Oh, that's protecting the tribe.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, man.
Like you freaked out. You're like no one fucks with my family. You know, like.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a tribe thing. That makes sense though. Wow. Okay.
Which is really ironic because you're an INFP, right? So supposedly you're very self-above tribe, yet you care about your tribe so much. You know.
Oh wow. Okay. Dang, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's like a massive irony, right? Like have you ever done your Enneagram personality type?
Yeah.
Are you type 9?
No.
What are you?
I have type 9 in my tribe type. I'm type 4.
Oh, really? So for you, it's very important to be unique and different?
Unfortunately. Like when you said, I did an interview with the INFP already. I was like, dang, I wanted to be the first one. Darn it. That's type 4. It's not even funny.
Well,
man.
No, you're the first guy, though.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, there you go, man. But
my tribe type is 469.
469.
That lends itself to consumer because apparently it's like the seeker that's always asking questions and seeking answers but never finding answers.
Now, are you a type 4 wing 3 or wing 5?
Wing 5. That also helps with consuming because type 5 is huge consumer, constantly taking in information, more and more information.
So you're not the I guess I don't want to say this, but the pretentious.
No, wow.
Like,
oh man. No, I guess I missed. Yeah. No, I guess I dodged the bullet.
No, because if you had the wing 3, right, then you would be a little bit more on the image-oriented side, right? So like.
I know exactly. I'd be all like, "Hey, yeah, Kendrick. So what's up, Kendrick? Yeah."
Yeah. Totally. Well, not the way like you're doing it right now, but kind of like maybe you'll be more on Instagram taking like a lot of photos that makes you like look really good, Or,
yeah. I'd have shades on like everywhere I go or something like that.
Yeah, or like you'll be like very success driven, like status driven. So would you say status and success driven, or are you more about learning? Like for you, learning is the most important thing.
Um, I learn more, but I do have like aspirations towards success. But I like they're personal. I don't like boast them or flaunt them or anything like that. They're just like one day I'd like to achieve this thing. But I learn a lot more than chasing success for sure.
So you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for to impress other people per se. You're doing things for you. You know, you like,
Yeah.
and yeah, you do like to be unique and different. But then you're doing everything's about you, being authentic about like you know, you want to be 100% Pascal, doing what Pascal likes, and you know,
Like
not
when you said that just now, I was just like, that feels good. Yeah, 100% Pascal
that
feels
feels
good.
good. Okay.
Yeah, it just feels good, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, nice. So I'm still stumped though. If you're consume or play first. Oh, sorry, consume or sleep first. I think you're consume first, just based on our conversation right now. Um,
Okay.
and and the reason why I think you're consume first, and this is just my guess. I don't know. So I think we have to dig a little bit deeper to find out. Is because now that we got started, kind of like this interview, you are using play so much. You know, you're like cracking jokes now. You're like, you know,
So you think I have higher play?
well, not higher play, but maybe lower sleep. You know,
Oh.
because maybe if,
So like sleep, like play over sleep.
well, no, I think you have consume over sleep.
Okay.
And
Okay.
again, I can't prove this right now. I just found it based on kind of like the way we're kind of like bantering, telling like cracking jokes now left and right here. Um,
Yeah.
and it kind of makes you less introverted because if you were sleep first, you would be kind of more like Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk is kind of like the archetype of someone that's the extreme introvert, right?
Sleep first. Yeah, he is.
But you seem
Yeah,
a
the way
little
he
bit
talks.
more extroverted than him. You know, a little bit
Oh,
more,
wow.
a
All
little bit
right.
more.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Um. So now we have to kind of confirm that now. So I need to figure out how your sleep works now. All right. So sleep
Okay.
is an interaction between your introverted feeling and your introverted sensing.
Okay.
Now, the 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 interesting thing here is that it seems like you have a double feminine sleep. You know,
Double feminine. What's that? What's
because
double feminine?
well, your introvert feeling is feminine and your introvert
Yeah.
thing is also feminine. So,
Oh, that's what double feminine. That's what double. When you guys say double and stuff, that's what that means.
well, no,
Oh, that makes
that's not
sense.
what it means. When someone says double feminine, it means your introvert sensing and your extrovert thinking is both feminine. So that's not what it
No,
means.
I mean when you guys say like double feminine sleep, because both of my introverted functions are feminine.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
you mean? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm kind of curious what it's like for you when you kind of go into that mode where you either rest or when you try to repeat kind of like a movie in your head of what happened in your life. So can you like tell
Oh
me
yeah.
like a story of like how you process things in your head? Like how do you kind of relive a story of something that happened a long time ago?
Oh, easy. I'll just be like perfectly normal right now talking to you, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll see me just go like this. Oh, like I'll just cringe randomly, and because I'm remembering some embarrassing story from the past that I wish I could go back and like do something about, but it's like just embarrassingly cringy, and I'll just like cringe in the now. And it's like me, it's like I'm almost like feeling my FI in that moment or something like that. Like it's triggering some FI kind of reaction out of me. But like it just things in the back of my head just from my past will just constantly be going off. I watched another interview with you with the ESTJ, and she was what, feminine SI or something like that.
Oh,
I'm
is it the
not
one
sure.
from yesterday?
Yeah. And she was like, I love to watch the same TV shows over and over again. I don't like to watch the same TV shows over and over again, but I love to listen to the same song over and over again, trying to get that feeling again. It's like, yeah, it's like I'm trying to use SI to trigger FI again. So I'll listen to the same song that I like over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, so I guess I don't know if that's what you were asking. Yeah.
It helps. It helps confirm your feminine SI, but we're trying to figure out what happens in that like
Oh, sleep.
sleep. Yeah. So we're trying to use sleep right now. And you kind of gave me a little bit of a hint there when you said, you know, like you'll remember, like we'll be chatting and then you'll remember something that happened a long time ago and you'll cringe, right? So
Yeah.
can you tell us like a cringy story then? Like,
Oh my God. You want a cringy story.
yeah.
Dang, let's see. Oh man, I need something to like trigger my memory. Ah, dang. A cringy story. Dang, man. Oh man. I have a lot of awkward moments in my life. Cringy story. Okay. I don't know if I want to say this. Uh, there was this girl from my high school that I had a huge crush on, and then I moved states. I moved to a completely different state, and like years later, she moved to that state, and I was like, oh my goodness, she's like, this must be some kind of like sign or something that I should meet her, right? And then so do a little bit of Facebook stalking, and then uh, I didn't have to do much to be honest with you. So don't look at me like a creep. I see you looking at me, and so it's like the church she went to was on Facebook. So I just decided to drop by on the church, right? And I go and I see her come out the church like after the service, and I go up to her and make the stupidest joke. I'm like, "Hey, I went to high school with a girl that looked just like you to try to make it like look like it was a joke. I was trying to look like I knew her, but I was just trying to joke around like I didn't know her. And like when I thought about that later, I was like, I just cringed, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. And the way she looked at me was like, what are you doing here? And she just looked at me like I was a stalker, and I just walked away. After that, we shared a couple words. She's like, oh my God, what are you doing here? But it was like kind of like a fake, like, what are you doing here? I don't really want to know, like, what, like, get out of here. So it was really weird.
So
And yeah, that's crazy.
she had a negative reaction to your attempted pickup line again, I guess.
Oh my goodness. Her initial reaction was negative, and then she tried to clean it up. She was just like, she looked at me like, what the heck? Is this who I think it is? And then after she was just like, oh, ha, ha, ha. What are you doing here? And it was so like not real. It was so like, it was fake. She was trying to be polite, but also freaked out at the same time.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
There you go, man. You got one out of me, man. That's it. That's all for today. For the rest of the video, no more cringe.
No more cringe stories.
No more cringe, man.
No, that was a good one though. But man, you know, that still doesn't confirm your sleep because it seems
I
like
think I think I can confirm it with something else.
okay. Let's
Not a cringe story. Like like usually when I'm consuming, I feel like consume and sleep go hand in hand. Like I'm consuming so that I don't have to like so I could feel like if I have to do something productive, I'll learn a lot about it first. But while I'm learning about it, it's almost like I'm procrastinating because like I feel like I'm being productive without actually exerting any energy. So I'm like, I could sit here and read about this topic and feel like I'm doing something, but without actually doing any work. Or yeah, like okay, maybe that's not good. Here's another example. Like when working out, I used to work out and I used to have a coach, and every time he would push me, I used to hate when he pushed me. And every time he would do a session, it would be like an hour long session. And the entire session, I'm trying to like keep enough energy to last the entire session, even though he's telling me to go hard, like push yourself, push yourself. I would always refrain from pushing myself because I wanted to reserve enough energy to last the entire hour, which was how long the session was. So I think that's a good example of sleep, where I'm reserving energy.
Overplay. Okay.
I guess, yeah. Oh, that's sleep over play. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
like I used to hate that.
That's been confirmed that you're sleep over play. We're trying to figure out right now if you're sleep over consume or consume over sleep right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
how do I do that?
So let's pause this for a second. And I want to ask you, what do you do for like a day job? I looked at your Facebook. It says you're working for Orlando Magic.
Yeah. I work at the stadium, the basketball stadium. Right now, I'm an usher. I tell people like where to sit, like where the tickets they go to sit. Mm-hmm.
And how do you like working in the stadium?
I mean, it's all right. I'm just doing it for now, but it's pretty easy work. I just tell people like, oh, you're sitting in this seat, go over there. You're sitting in this seat, go over there. Oh, where's the bathroom? Oh, the bathroom's over there. Where can you smoke? The smoking section's over there.
I see.
Yeah, it's pretty easy work. Yeah.
You're just helping people then.
Yeah.
What would you like to do though? Like what would you ideally like to do as your career?
I'd like to be a game designer. I'd like to be like making my own video games.
What kind of video games do you like?
I like hack and slash games like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta. I also like games like Pokemon. Any game where you're like raising some little creature and teaching it how to fight. I love those games.
Do you like do you like RPGs also?
I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based. I like to like control the character and like do crazy combos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Kingdom Hearts or something?
Kingdom Hearts. There you go. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3 poster right there. I wake up with a Woody every morning.
That's
my favorite game series, Kingdom Hearts. It's RPG, but you can move and jump and all this stuff and slash everybody.
Slash and has like
yes, I love it. Man. Yeah.
Okay. What is it about Kingdom Hearts that you like besides the hack and slash? Do you like the Disney characters too that's in the game? Does it remind you?
Yeah, I like the Disney. Well, more than the Disney characters, I just like the mystery, the whole mystery, how it's like shrouded in mystery. The story doesn't make any sense. It feels like it's revealing some grander story that they may never reveal. But yeah, I kind of just I like all like the innocent, light heart themes and how it's so childlike. I love that stuff. It's like, oh, there's light in my heart. Like it's so corny, but I love it. Man.
You love that shit?
Yes. Man.
Yeah. I think maybe that's your introverted feeling there. Like it's feminine, right? So you love that that feel good moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. But then it's very interesting because you have like almost like you have a double masculine play, right? So maybe that's what explains like you playing with
like, that makes sense.
That's why you shove other kids and low blow them and stuff.
Yeah, man, you make it sound like I'm a bully. I was not a bully. We were all doing it to each other. Any chance we got, we would just act like we're tying our shoes and then bing. Like that.
Do you act out too, like you got low blowed afterwards?
Yeah, I would act like it. Yeah, some kids went too far, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Okay, I'm not even gonna ask what that means. Like went too far, like.
Oh my god! Like they'd actually like hit you. Like we just played like we did it. Sometimes you get close, but some of them would actually hit you.
I thought you didn't mean like hit you. I thought they mean like they did it with like an open hand instead. Like. Like.
No, man.
I thought that's.
I got you. It'd be like cough.
Yeah, that's what you meant by he went too far. Like.
No, man.
Okay.
Like, man, did I just get a physical?
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way,
Then
No, hell no.
Then you probably would start questioning that other person, right? At that point, like,
oh yeah, I'd be like, you're getting too much pleasure out of this game,
you're
buddy.
liking this too much. This is.
Yeah, man.
Like like especially you want to probably avoid their facial expression after they do that.
Yeah, man. I'd probably have a hard time looking at them. Okay, so to find out consume over sleep, you're asking me if like, do I consume more information than rest? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, so far we've confirmed that you like to preserve energy because you gave us an example, kind of like when you were working out in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Coach. But then we don't know if you're resting or kind of like processing kind of like the concepts that you've learned or processing things in your head more than you spend time kind of consuming information. So like
that might be true.
Like okay, like when you're at home, like do you just chill out and not have anything, like do you just lay on your bed sometimes and just kind of like think things through, or like do you sit on a bus or like drive?
No, I'm usually on the laptop a lot. I'll be either on perk. I call it perk. I know some people call it per C, but I call it perk. I'll either be on perk or like if I'm laying in the bed, I'm watching a YouTube video, either a funny YouTube video or a YouTube video how to get more money or something like that. I'm always like, yeah, I'm always consuming something because I don't like to just waste my time just sleeping or just laying on the bed. And then after I've consumed a lot, I can sit back and just like process the information. Yeah, or just daydream about things that I want to do or things that I like. But I, I'm usually like on the phone or on the computer looking at a video or posting in the thread or something like that.
So let's talk about your daydreaming then. Like besides a girl, obviously, but like like.
Wow. Okay. See, I knew it. I knew it.
So let's say you do you read fictional books or mostly non-fiction books?
The books I read the most are like self-help books. But if I'm not reading a self-help book, I'm probably gonna read a fiction book.
What kind of fictional books do you like to read?
The last fiction book I read was about some girl that was born with like a set of wings, like bird wings, and that was really interesting. I was like, what's that like? What's life like to just be born with wings, and how does the world respond to you? The book before that I read, a fictional book, I think it was Hunger Games, and that was really good. But I don't read a lot of fiction books. Only time I'm usually reading is self-help books.
And then do you feel like you're like playing a movie in your head when you're like reading those books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So much so that I compare that movie with the actual movie, and then I'm like, they didn't get it right, or they got it right.
Right. Okay. You're definitely very visual then, because you can see that movie of what you read.
Yeah.
Okay. It does sound like you're using consume more just based on like just from an actual time stamp, right? Like if we were to take you on a regular day and how many hours you spend, watching videos or reading books versus the amount of time you're, kind of like sitting there and processing the stuff that you've picked up, it almost seems like your sleep is kind of like the supporting role to your consume.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems to me that's what you're doing. It's a sidekick.
Yeah.
It's the Robin to the Batman,
Yeah.
So.
I feel like even my sleep helps me like consume more because I'm resting. So I get to like just spend more time consuming whatever I'm consuming because I'm resting, or my consume allows me to rest. They kind of work together in a sense. Yeah.
So you'll rest so you can consume more. It directly feeds like everything you consume.
Yeah. It's even literal sometimes. Like sometimes I'll read a book, like a self-help book, and it'll throw all these concepts at me, and I'll get tired of reading, and so I have to sleep, like, or I'll literally have to take a nap, and I'll justify it by saying, oh, maybe if I take a nap, the information will just sort itself out while I'm sleeping, and then when I wake up, it'll just make sense. Yeah, like I had a teacher one time. It doesn't work. I had a teacher one time. He was like, "You're really not supposed to read an entire book in one go. You're supposed to read 15 minutes and then stop and take a break and then read 15 minutes." And I was like, you know what? I like that. That's what I want to do. So I kind of justify my my consume breaks like that. Like, oh, maybe if I take a nap or something, it'll make more sense.
Okay, this is totally random, but ever since we started this interview, I noticed something very. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I just noticed that you seem to have the same facial expressions as John Jones from the UFC.
Oh yeah, John Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems that way.
Wow, he's interesting to me.
Like even your voice, even your voice sounds like.
Oh, my voice.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know about all that. Man.
Like I don't know that like Venture Type 4 or whatever, but like that's.
Oh, maybe. Who knows? There was an interesting interview with him and Joe Rogan where he was like, and it was kind of trying to show the human side of him, which I was like, all right, let's see what you got. And he was saying that before his fights, he would go out and get wasted and super drugged out because he would give himself an excuse if he lost a fight. He was like, well, if I lose this fight, it's because I was wasted or I was drugged out. Like as if he was to deal with the fear of losing. And I was like, whoa, that's like some psychological coping right there. That's just, so I was like, this guy's actually has to deal with fear of losing. This guy wins like almost every fight. That was interesting.
Well, he's never
But
lost.
he's human. Yeah, exactly. He's never lost. And he's like saying that's how he deals with like the fear of losing is by just destroying his body just in case he loses and has an excuse.
Well, I think one time when he got busted, they said that, they're like, he's not taking any performance enhancing drug. He's taking drugs that actually makes him worse, like cocaine and stuff, and he's still
exactly. That's crazy, man. That's nuts.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. So far, it seems like we've confirmed that you are consume, sleep, play, and blast. And I think
all right,
based on what you predicted before we started the interview, the only thing that you mixed up was blast and play. So
okay.
It seems like you were pretty spot on too with your sexual modalities. So you're feminine, masculine. With your SI is your feminine and your TE is masculine, and you have masculine NE and masculine FI. So you kind of have like a really feminine inner world, but like the outside, like very like tough masculine, I'm gonna like punch you in the face, kind of like.
I don't know about all that. But...
No, I'm not saying that. But like when people get to know you, they know you're like a softie at heart, like. Yeah,
unfortunately, yeah. They're like, oh, we can just poke at you like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm like, whatever, man.
Well, what was it like? Do you think you put on a tough front then, or do you think you don't?
I think I do to protect some kind of like to protect myself. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it's like it's easy to see through, so it's a problem. It's like, man, this is pointless if people can just see right through it.
Yeah.
So.
So let's talk.
I didn't know that come out like that. I didn't know that you could tell that from the sexual modalities. Wow, this stuff is too deep. This is getting uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, no, uncomfortable is good because that's when you're onto something, right? Because then if
I'm just messing around.
You're not learning anything. Let's talk about you being a double observer. So,
all right.
So you have extrovert intuition and introverted sensing. It means you have a relative balance between freedom and control, chaos and control, essentially. So when shit hits the fan, you kind of like, okay, like you can deal with it. It's not a big deal. Or like if you have to work for a big organization that's trying to make you kind of adhere to a specific, plan or schedule, you're kind of like, you might not like it because it's still a demon, but you're kind of okay, more or less okay with it. Would you say that's about accurate?
When you say like, you're trying to get me to adhere to a certain schedule, like a deadline or something like that?
Yeah, like you have to be at work at a certain time, go home at a certain time. You have a deadline that you must complete by a certain time. So maybe you have a boss you have to report to, and you have to hand in your whatever it is that you have to finish work-wise.
Okay, deadlines are not that difficult for me because they cause me to panic to get the work done. But like getting the work on time has always been an issue. But if there are people there to obligate me to get to work on time, I can get to work on time. But if it's just left up to me, I take my sweet time. And if there's nobody who's gonna like yell at me about it or write me up, like I take my sweet time. But if it's like absolutely necessary, then I do muster up the ability to do it. Yeah.
So having accountability really helps you a lot. Then that's one of the.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Without accountability, I'm just left to just like doing whatever.
Now, the other question I have in regards to you being a double observer is that one of the videos that Dave and Shannon talked about in their channel, I'm not sure if they actually mentioned it in the channel or in their class, but they said that people who are double observers have more issue with pain than fear, while double deciders have more issue with fear than pain. Would you agree with this, that pain is something that you try to avoid?
When you say pain, you mean like physical pain?
It could be physical pain, it could be emotional pain, but pain in general. So we can talk about physical pain first. Do you avoid physical pain?
Yeah. Like when I was working out and my coach would push me, I like did not like that because my insides would feel like they're burning up and like I'm like not about to die, but just like I'm not gonna kill myself for a workout. That's what I used to feel like. Like I'm not absolutely not gonna kill myself for this workout. if you think that's what I'm gonna do.
It could also be
So
because
yeah.
you have a double feminine, like internal world, right? So you're like kind of like
Oh, okay.
not saying you're gonna like be squeamish about like the pain, but like maybe there is some truth to that. I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Um.
Like yeah, if like any kind of physical exertion comes with some kind of like internal like distress, and I'm just like I usually will take the path of least resistance because of that. Like I'm like I don't want to have to go through this sense of distress or whatever.
So on the outside, does it look like you're killing yourself though? Like you're kind of acting like it looks like you're like giving your
When there was one time when I was working out and the coach told everybody to do a jog outside, and he saw that I guess he saw that I was dying because he was like, "Oh, you can stay in here, man." And I kind of took offense to that, but I was like, I guess he can tell like I'm just dying here because I was pretty out of shape too. So yeah. So I guess it looked like I was killing myself.
Now, let's talk about emotional pain here. So, do you avoid emotional pain then as a result of having, double
Yeah,
observer?
yeah. I guess I said no more cringe stories, but I guess this could be another
It
one,
doesn't have to be a
whatever.
cringe story. It could just be like an authentic story, right? Like you don't have to.
Yeah, it's not entirely cringe, I guess. There was one time there was another girl and she had like some event, some pub crawl raising money for like kids' school supplies. And I was like, I'm gonna go. I'm really just gonna go to see her. I went, but like I was like circling around the first bar because I didn't want to go inside because of how awkward I felt it would be if I showed up. I was just like, she doesn't even know I'm coming. She's probably gonna think like I don't know, like I'm trying too hard or something. And so like to avoid like the I guess emotional pain of awkwardness, I just circled the place and like tried to get myself like comfortable before I walked into the bar. So yeah, I also will go out of my way to avoid emotional discomfort, pain, whatever. And that's not the only story that does happen multiple times. I will do stupid things to avoid emotional pain. Yeah.
So you'll avoid emotional pain, and then it's almost like it seems like it's also connected to your demon blast. Like you don't want to kind of start that conversation. Like getting started
Ah.
is the blast, right? Like
Ah. Okay.
yeah,
Oh, all these things are connected with each other. Yeah.
yeah. Now, what about fear? Are you not afraid? Do you feel fear a lot of times? Do you get a lot of anxiety about things or not really?
Yeah. I can get anxiety about things. Yeah.
But
I think that. Yeah. Well, what do you mean like anxiety? Like you just mean like being anxious about something like that? Me circling around the bar was also me trying to tone down my anxiety from the emotional pain that I perceived I was going to receive by showing up.
now, before you went to that event, though, were you feeling anxiety already? Did you feel anxiety like a week before that?
No, it's like it hit me when I got there. I'm like, this is fine. I'll show up, whatever. Then when I got there, I'm just like, wow, okay, this is too real. Like I'm here now. I don't know if I want to go in just yet. It hits me right there when I get there. Yeah. I felt anxiety doing this video though.
Oh,
Yeah, I felt anxiety the whole time. I guess it was a self-above tribe thing or something. I'm like, this video is going to be shown to the tribe, and is the tribe going to value me as much as I value myself? And so it was like, I guess emotional pain. I guess that's pain. Like I perceived pain was going
yes,
to happen.
yes.
And so I got anxious, and I was like, man, if I do this and people are going to be like, he's not INFP. INFP would never say that. This is just another INFJ trying to fake he's an INFP. I'm like, oh my God, please, come on.
You don't want to be an INFJ?
I don't know, man. I just pictured all these little INFPs in my head, like, you're not an INFP. You're not real.
All right. Well, you're definitely using a lot of sleep there.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's sleep? Okay, I didn't know that was sleep.
Because
Yeah, I just
you're
pictured
like
it.
imagining, like
Oh,
a
okay,
story.
yeah.
You're
That
like,
happened.
yeah.
I will have imaginary tribes in my head criticizing me for whatever. Like, I'm like, what gives him the right to be the interviewed INFP? There's so many more acceptable INFPs to interview. why did Kendrick choose this one out of all? Like, I just picture all this stuff, man. This little tiny tribes of INFPs just like knocking me out.
Yeah.
Stupid things.
I think that definitely confirms you're an INFP though, because you're kind of picturing, you're picturing the tribe, because you were picturing the tribe, like you're like kind of like the enemy that you have in your head. The enemy is the tribe, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, like that is like the biggest fear of someone that's self above tribe, right? That's someone that's like an IP, which is the tribe. So like the fact that you were thinking about that kind of like strongly confirms that you're an INFP, because that's your enemy, right? Like I think if anyone were to kind of like criticize you for this video, I think it wouldn't be like, oh, this guy's not an INFP, he's probably an INTP, you know. I think that's what someone might say, you know.
Okay.
Because
I
like,
can't do math in my head though. So
what's that?
I said I can't do long division in my head, so that just debunks that right there.
I mean, you could be a stupid INTP, right? Like I'm just.
Oh. Hey, all right, there you go. No, that's a subtype.
I don't think you're an INTP though. Like just based on talking to you, like.
I'm glad you're on my side then.
Yeah, no.
I watched the David Shan video about Demon Tribe, and I was just like, yes, that's exactly what it is. But man, David Shan with their TE, they were just like whacking the INFP. But I thought it was my type 4 was like, you guys are especially mistreating us. And then I watched the other videos, and I was like, okay, no, they're pretty critical of other people too. Okay, yeah, so it's not just us.
They equally abuse.
It was a type 4 complaint. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's okay. It's like it's like
Dave got it pretty bad from Shan. Shan was like schooling him, blasting him. I was like, man, that was pretty funny.
Well, Dave is also self-above tribe, right? So he gets hazed a lot all over the internet. Like, I posted my interview with I don't know if you saw my interview with Dave, like when I interviewed him in person.
No. Oh yeah, in the car, yeah.
Yeah. So, I would post that in some Facebook groups, and people would say, "Cringe, Dave superpowers, puke, Dave superpowers."
Oh wow.
Like they'll just say so much bad things about him, right? And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my God, how is he handling all this attack?" Like people would make videos on him, like him being not like whatever he's saying is bullshit, And then and I'm like that is like a true like tribe tidal wave right there. Like the community is like it's like shitting on him, right? And like in a way, if you think about it, it's kind of good because it means he stands for something. Because like he has a very polarizing message, right?
Yeah, it's polarizing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't think you're doing anything meaningful if people are not hating on you. Like if everyone's kind of like agreeing on you, it's kind of like like you don't really stand for anything. Like especially you're like you're a type 4, right? Like if you're not pissing anyone off, I don't know how good you are as a type 4, like cause like because like as a type 4 you're gonna be like 100% you, right? Like 100% authentic, different and unique, right? And then
that's gonna piss some people off.
Yeah, because like someone might go up to you and it's like, well, why don't you just conform to kind of like what the group is doing, like why do you have to go out of your way to be different, like that's something that people might say to you, right? And you're like, no, because I don't want to be like someone else, I want to be me,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm doing double decider right now, kind of like looking at it from your point of view and like someone.
Okay, that's double decider.
Yeah, like
that's cool, man.
Like, because like when people shit on me, right? Like
you can bounce between self and tribe like that.
Yeah, like pretty easily. Like when people shit on me, right? I can be like, yeah, I can kind of see their point of view. I don't like what they said about me, but I can see their point of view. It's not like like they shit on me and I look at them like, you know what, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, like I might say, you know what, you're an asshole for saying that, but I see your point. Like I get why you're saying that, while like someone who's a single decider might just be like, fuck you, and that's it. Like they won't try to like
so when you say you see their point of view, are you using TE or NE? To me that sounds like NE.
It's FI and TE actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, there is NE involved because like I see the pattern in their behavior, right? And I use that to rationalize kind of like why they're acting the way they're acting.
Yeah.
because whatever I said doesn't work for them, right? Because T is about what works for other people. So if they shit on me, then to me it just clearly tells me, okay, the reason why they're upset at me is because whatever I said doesn't work for them, right?
Oh,
And,
okay, that makes sense. That sounds like T, you know.
right, but and then if they were an FE user, then it might just be like whatever I said they might not like, you know. It's more like a feeling thing, like they don't like what I said, like they
Okay.
you know. So
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, I got you now.
yeah, they might think it works, but they don't care because they don't like it, you know.
Oh, okay.
Because you know, it's like
Yeah.
it gets really tricky when you talk to, or like when you deal with FE users, because sometimes they don't care what is the most effective or efficient method. They need to like it, right? Like
Okay.
if you don't wrap up the package in a nice wrapper, they
Yeah.
cannot accept it, right? You know,
Yeah.
and like you are like an INFP, right? So the people that you're more likely to be attracted to, or you'll attract, are probably going to be like an ENFJ or an ESFJ, right? So
Oh, ENFJ for sure.
yeah, and then so when you attract those people, you guys are completely different, right? Like number one, you're not trying to figure out what works for them, and number two, even if you figure out what works for them, they don't care because they want to just feel good, right? Because it's about FE. They're not using TE. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like it's tough, you know. Like how do you win in that situation? Kind of like, you know, kind of like the story you told me earlier, right? Like you you um you completely violated the FE, you know,
Oh,
by
yeah.
you know, like if we were to break it down, right? You violated the FE. So the way you approach that should have been more FE like, right?
Yes. Yeah. I
Like
should
maybe,
have just went downstairs and be like, oh, sorry. Okay, I'm here. And I'm
yeah,
doing what you told me to do.
or maybe like a friend that knows that person will like introduce you to her, because like a lot of FE people, they don't directly approach someone.
Oh, you're talking about that story. Okay, yeah.
Like I'll give you an example. Like a lot of my FE friends, like ENFJ friends,
Yeah.
when they date someone, it's usually because they're a coworker or someone introduced them to that girl. Like they didn't directly like approach that person to
Wait,
like,
FE doesn't directly approach people?
not not the typical FE. Some well, the ones who understands, I mean, they won't approach a complete stranger is what I'm trying to say, unless
Oh.
obviously they're in sales or something, you know, or you know, like it's their job, right?
Mm.
So I'll give you an example. Like I said, all my friends who are FE users, they met their significant other either through you know, like they were classmates in school or coworkers from work, or someone introduced them, like a friend hooked them up or something, you know.
Yeah.
So, like and the way I met my girlfriend, because I use T heavily, right? And FI, like kind of like you, we have the same functions essentially, just like different order, right?
Yeah.
Like I used to do cold approach pickup. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
Yeah.
you know, like Owen Cook stuff, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah. So I used to do that, right? And that's how I met my girlfriend. You know, like I went to the mall and I approached her and I said, hey, you know, this is gonna be sound kind of random, but I think you're really cute. You know, I
Oh,
don't.
wow. He did that.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, I
It
don't.
worked.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, I don't really know what to say to you. It feels kind of awkward, but you know, like, can I get your number? You know, like it's,
Wow.
you know. And then she gave me her number. You know, and like we've been together for 6 years now. You know, so
Wow.
you know, so it's like it works, man. This it
It
works.
works.
Yeah, it works. It's
I've been so skeptical of all that stuff.
oh, it's not bullshit. Oh, okay, it's like it's really hard, man. Like the first 2 months, I had zero numbers. People said bad things to me. I was really like I couldn't sleep. I had like, you know.
Okay, you know what? This makes sense because, like you said, like I'm more concerned about pain. Like that's all. Everything you just said sounds like it's way too difficult for me to go through.
Okay, so I'm a double decider. So pain is not my main concern.
Yeah.
My main concern is fear, right? So
Yeah.
when I get rejected, I feel
Yeah.
bad, but I can get over it really quickly. You know, like the
Uh,
I'm okay with emotional pain. Like when I go to the gym, I kill myself, right? And I'm okay with that.
uh,
You know, like I'm okay with hurting.
uh.
Like when people hurt me, I don't try to protect myself from getting hurt. I purposely get myself hurt. You know,
Oh, wow.
I always try to get myself hurt because I don't want to be a little bitch who is afraid. You know, so
What are you trying to say, man?
No, I'm not. That's not to you. But like I'm just saying,
No, I'm messing,
that's just my opinion of myself, you know. So, anyways,
yeah.
but my biggest issue is fear, right? So like when I first started doing, you know, cold approach pickup, I did it kind of like exposure therapy style, you know. Like I would run to a girl, and I would say hello, then I would run away, and then my wingman would be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like you look like an idiot," you know. I was like, I'm not doing this to look good. I'm doing this to get over my fear of approaching.
Oh, okay.
Approaching a complete stranger, right?
Okay.
And you
This
know,
makes sense now.
so the first month I was just approaching, saying hi and running away, you know, so I didn't get any numbers or whatever. It wasn't until the third month where I started getting numbers, and guess what happened? I had one new date a week. It was so cool, man. Like,
Oh, wow.
I went from like the person getting friend zoned to like one new date a week, and eventually I met my girlfriend, and you know, the rest is history, right? So like I'm a big advocate of, you know, cold approach pickup for guys, because I just think it's the best way for you to meet someone.
Wow.
Also, when you do it, like the ones that will be receptive to you, chances are they're the ones who are going to be attracted to you. Because I actually did like it's going to sound really funny, but like I tracked down kind of like all the ones that gave me their number and who went out with me. Because like not everyone who gives you their number will go out with you, right? So,
Yeah.
so the ones who went out with me, I was like, what are their personality types? So I'm trying to figure out their Myers-Briggs, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no freaking way. Most of them are intuitives, like ENFJ,
Oh, wow.
INTJ, you know, like ENFP.
Wow.
And I was like what? Like, there's no way this is a coincidence, you know? So like,
Yeah.
and that just blew my mind, right? So, anyways, that's kind of like what I'm trying to get at here, is that, you know, for me as a double decider, fear is what is my problem.
That I got a good example of that. Because I think this is a perfect example of
Yeah.
the double decider with the fear, and then the double observer with the pain. Because like when you saying, oh, you know, I didn't get all these numbers, I got rejected, people said bad crap to me, that just sounded like something that I didn't want to deal with at all. But I met, like, I had two coworkers. I had an ISTJ coworker and an ENFP's coworker, and we were working in this software called Maya for like 3D graphics and stuff. And I remember I went up to them, they said their program wasn't working, so I was going to try something to make it work. And they were like, hold on, let me save my work just in case, you know, you screw something up and everything goes crazy. And for me, I'm like, nothing's going to happen. Like, calm down. But for them, it was so, like, both of them, the ICJ and the ENFP, they were so, like, concerned about that.
Yes.
And I asked the ENFP girl, I was like, what's the problem? She's like, you never, like, worked on something and lost all your work and were mad that you didn't save it? And I was just like, I'm not going to mess up your thing, girl, relax. But, like, she was just, that fear, like, grabbed her, man. I was like, it's not that big a deal. So I guess I could see that when you said that.
Yeah, man. Like when I like let's say this video, after I finish processing this, I'm gonna be so paranoid. I'm gonna stick my external hard drive right away and back it up. Like, I'm not gonna. That's
all
how.
Right, makes sense.
And I might even put it on Dropbox, so I have it in 3 different locations. You know, that's how paranoid I get. Like.
Okay.
Remember you said that when you went to the party to go talk to that girl, and you didn't freak out until you
circled the place.
Yeah, but you didn't freak out until you got there, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I would have anxiety for like the next few months, essentially.
Oh, wow.
Like it would constantly be in
before the party or after the party?
Before the party.
Oh, wow.
Like even 1 month before the party, I'll be thinking about it already, like kind of freaking out, you know? Like it'll be fine. I've like a lot of fear, you know, a lot of anxiety, you know, but I get to the party, I start talking to that person, I'm cool. And I don't care if I get rejected. It's so like even something stupid, like my day job, I work in fitness, right? I teach like I teach circuit training, for example. I can't tell you how much anxiety I have coming to the class to go teach the class, right? But when I actually teach it, I'm okay. Like I'm cool. Like when people when there's like chaos happening, when people are getting mad at me or like something's not working for people, I'm pretty like whatever, you know. But like the thought about it, it's what freaks me out, you know.
Okay.
But for you, you're avoiding the pain, right? Like the emotional pain, the rejection.
Like if I used to do the cold pickup or whatever, I'd be like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to get like rejected or anything like that. But like, I don't know where the fear would come in. Like if I signed up for a class, like I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm super scared. I would think like, oh, these people are gonna help me do this thing or whatever. And then when I get there, I might be scared because I'm like, somebody's gonna like I'm gonna look stupid. This girl's gonna like spit in my face or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt real bad, and I'm not gonna be able to like. Okay, perfect example. Like if I do get rejected or something like that, like it'll hurt for some time after. Like like it won't just be like, oh, I got rejected, I'm over it. It'll be like, I got rejected, I don't want to talk to anybody else for like maybe the rest of the day. I'm good. Like I don't want to feel that again.
So you kind of go to sleep mode then the moment you get hit.
Yeah. You know, I might do it again like a month later. Like I did it one time that hurt way too much and just like, I'm good. Peace out.
That's also like your blast last, right? It's like, I'll do it once a month, you know, like.
Oh yeah, exactly. My whole goal would be like to shorten the time frame between like the last time I did it and the next time I do it. That would be my whole strategy.
It's kind of funny you said that because I once went out with my INFP friend. I was trying to get him into doing this, the whole cold thing. Because he was single. He was single at a time, so he wanted to, you know, find a girlfriend, right? Now I noticed that for me, when I'm doing it, I'm scared, but I'm more scared of like. It's more like a fear of approaching, right? Like not talking to the person itself, but like the approach, or like even the day before, I kind of like thinking it's like, oh my god, I feel so scared, thinking like I have to do it again the next day, right? But for my friend, when he did the approach, it was after the approach that he was traumatized, not before.
Yes.
Like after he spoke to like one girl, we couldn't go anywhere. He was just standing there and he was shivering. He was shivering, right?
Oh,
and I was like, are you ready to go? He was like, hold on a second. And he was just standing there and like, he wasn't talking to me, you know? And he was like, kind of like,
oh, wow.
And I was like,
hey, buddy.
I was like, are you okay? Are you shooken up? He's like, I'll be okay. And he's like shaking it, right?
Wow.
You know?
That's intense.
I know it is. And I was like, oh my, so like, I didn't realize at the time that it was because, you know, as a double observer, pain is kind of like, the area that you're avoiding.
Yes. It puts you down for a while. Like I'm afraid that this is gonna hurt me so bad I won't be able to get back up. It's not true, but that's the pain that I'm fearing. It's just like this is gonna crush me.
I think though it's a little bit harder for you too because you have that feminine Fi, right? And that makes the pain even more painful. You know, it like almost
probably
it almost like enhances that like the feeling of that pain. You know, like.
Probably.
I have masculine Fi, right? So like when I go play with the tribe, it's kind of like very feminine, kind of like, you know, like easygoing, right? But like like when people hurt me, I'm like boom, and I'm like okay, like I'm like a rock, right? Like I can take a lot of hit, right? Like you know, like did you watch the Rocky movies, like Rocky Balboa? Like he said, you know, it's not about how much you can get. It's not how hard you can.
Whoa, hold on. I think you just broke up a little bit. Okay, I can hear you now.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah, so, you know, like in the movie, Rocky said, it's not about how hard you can hit, but how much you can get hit and keep going forward, you know, like how much, you know, like...
Get back up.
Yeah, like life will, you know, make you go down on your knees, and if you don't have the strength to get back, you're going to stay down, right, essentially.
Yeah.
So I really kind of like resonate with that message because for me, it's like all about like taking the pain, you know, how much pain can I take, you know, and keep moving.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think that message is actually more for people who are double observers like you, because as a double decider, more or less the pain is not my main issue. My main issue is fear, right? So how can I get over the fear? And for you, how do you get over that pain? You know what I mean? So like, that's kind of like the next piece of the puzzle for us, right? Is like, how do we figure that out, you know?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would have to take more pain, take more hits, and I guess you would have to take more, like jump into things more. I don't know.
I think I have to jump into things without a safety net, you know, like no backup.
Okay. Oh yeah. This time for you, don't put it on Dropbox. Don't put the video on your hard drive, and just like.
I probably will. I'll probably still do that though.
And then me, I gotta go and talk to the next girl I see that I'm attracted to.
You
That's
know
the
what?
challenge.
You know what's really messed up, right? It's like we just had this conversation, but even after this video's finished, there's no way I'm not gonna put it on my hard drive. Like it's
Yeah, man.
no, like the fear
It's
is
so
so
ingrained.
like the fear is so real for me. So I can imagine how bad the pain is for you, because like if
Yeah.
same thing, right? Like I like it, like for me it doesn't make sense not to put it in a hard drive, right? Like, and for you it doesn't make sense
Yeah.
not to protect yourself from getting hurt, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense to me to go up to a random stranger and expect her to just be like perfectly fine with it and then not look at me like I'm a crazy person.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and not hurt you, you know, specifically.
Yeah, and not look at me like 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 you said you're afraid of the approach. What I'm afraid of is I go up to her and she just like questions why I'm even talking to her. Like, what are you doing talking to me? And then I'm like, and then I just like turn around like, you know what, screw it. Like the pain that comes from just her questioning me is big. It's just like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have did this. I should have trusted what I was thinking already. This is why I don't do this. And I use it as justification.
Well, it even applies to online business. So like one of my friend who's an INFP, right? Like, so we both were thinking of starting an online business. So I would start one and he would start one, and he would help me out sometimes and I would help him out sometimes. And it's kind of like been 4 years later, and I've kind of, I have an online blog for travel, and my friend just got a day job instead of pursuing his dream of having an online business. And when I asked him, like, what stopped you from kind of like starting your own online business? And he said to me, I just feel like I don't have the certification to prove to people that I can start an online business. Like, I was like, why do you need a piece of paper to justify that you can be an expert in this topic? He's like, I just need to have that paper. Like, I need to go to school. Okay, I'll give you another concrete example. So turns out my friend is really good at video editing, my INFP friend, and he loves it, absolutely loves it. Because one time I asked him for help with video editing, and he helped me edit a video. He went home, came back next time, told me he's never felt happier spending 9 hours in front of his computer with a cup of coffee editing a video. I was like, dude, man, this is you. This is your, like, this is what you need to be doing because you love it, and there's a huge demand for video editors. And then, so what happened next was that people actually wanted to pay him money to film their wedding and edit the video. Pay him a lot of money, go film their wedding and edit their video, or other online influencers were gonna pay him money to edit their video. And guess what? He didn't do any of it, even though they're literally like giving him the money. And he said no. He said, no, I need to go to school first and get a diploma in video editing. I was like, what? Like, why? Like, dude, they're giving you money, you know? And I never understood. So I'm asking, why do you need that paper? You know?
I think he needs the paper because he needs some reason why the tribe is going to trust him with that. Like, he can't find his value in what the tribe thinks of him. It's like a fear. Like, it's like the tribe is saying this, but I don't trust myself with this or something like that.
Or he doesn't trust what they're saying?
What's that?
He doesn't trust what the tribe is saying, or if that's more of a feminine introvert feeling thing. Like, what do you think?
It could be that too, but also like sometimes the tribe will say something about me and I'll be like, nope, you're not right about me. Like one time somebody was like I like to draw. Somebody saw my drawing on the internet and then they were like, hey, can you come talk at our school about art? And I was just like I'm not qualified for that. You know, like I'm going to come and let the tribe down if I come and do that. You think that I have some value, but I don't think I have that value. So the way the tribe values me and the way I value me is different. And so I guess for him, he might have felt like he wasn't going to live up to the tribe's expectations unless he got the credentials to live up to the tribe's expectations.
So if you went to art school and you had like a degree in art and someone asked you to go speak about art, you would be okay with it because you had that degree?
I feel like a degree would say like you're qualified to do this. Yeah. I feel like or whatever the degree taught me would make me more qualified. But if I was just some guy off the street and I knew how to draw, I'd just be like, I'm just telling these people my biased, weird, unverified opinion and then just expecting them to take it as the gospel. And that's kind of weird for me because like the tribe trusting me with something like that, it's putting me on the spot. It's just like, it's squeamish, man.
I think it's you don't have FE also, right? So like FE is like, I like your stuff, that's good enough, right? And then For you, it's like, no, that's not
Oh
good.
yeah,
That's not good enough.
yeah, exactly. That happens a lot. Like Effie will be like, "Wow, that's such a good drawing," and I'll be like, "No, like this is crap." And I know it's crap because I've seen way better than this. But Effie will insist that, "No, you're talented." Just like, not there yet.
You know, you can't accept the FE. You need a TE, I think. Like the reason why. Like if someone were to break down to you,
Yes, yeah, yeah, exactly.
like if like let's say I don't know who's like a famous artist. Like let's say a famous artist goes up to you and tells you you're really good at this and breaks down to you
Oh yeah,
exactly why
I
you're
would be shaking. I'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm way better than I thought I was. Oh my god."
that's your feminine FI, I guess. Like you should, it's such a good
And
compliment.
sometimes you said what?
Look, it's like it's such a good compliment, right? Like it like hits you like extra hard, you know, like
Yeah, man. It's coming from, I guess, the TE, like the fact that this guy is an established artist and he's telling me this about my stuff.
so
That allows me to believe it more.
so do you trust the tribe then and the authority figure? Like do you put trust in the tribe and authority
I,
figure?
in the authority figure, yeah, or established any kind of established thing, I can trust it. But yeah, because it's like there's some foundation behind it. Like this guy is an established artist; he knows what he's talking about. So when he's looking at my stuff, it's coming from somebody who knows what they're talking about. But Fe sometimes will say, like, I'll draw something. Fe won't even look at the drawing and be like, "You're such a good artist," and I'm like, what? You didn't even look at it. Like you can't see it from where you're sitting at. No way. You're just trying to be nice, and I get it, but I don't know how to respond to it. I'm just
Yeah,
like, and they're looking at me like, why isn't he happy? I just complimented him, and I'm just like, it's not real. It's not real.
yeah. For you,
Uh,
I think authenticity is super important to you. Like the fakeness of the FE sometimes I think is not doesn't sit well with you or something.
uh, it's yeah. I don't know what to say because then I have to be fake back, like, wow, thank you. And when I say that, I can hear the fakeness in me and I'm disgusted with it. So I'm like, I can't do that to somebody because I think they can hear the fakeness too. And they're just like, ugh, yuck, what is that? Put that away.
You know what? They probably can't hear the fakeness though. That's like the ironic.
That, you know what? I want to try that one time to see if they can. And because I'm going to be like, wow, like I can just operate in the world completely like underneath this facade and get by. That's crazy.
Well, it's well, you can think of it in a TE way too, right? Like I'll give you an example. Like if you work with a lot of people, sometimes people go up to you and tell you their problems, right? Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't know what to say because you don't really know them. They're not really your friend. They're just like a random person.
Yeah.
So like maybe you'll see something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that," you know, and then you'll have like the appropriate facial expression, but inside you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like you feel like, yeah, I don't really care, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Damn. You made me just tap into their world for a second, and now it makes sense. This world that didn't make sense before. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
because like sometimes people tell you their problems, and then the right response, the FE response, like, "I'm so sorry to hear that," and you give them like the appropriate facial expression, which means you look sad too, right? But you're not really sad.
Yeah.
You have to look. You
Yeah.
have to look like you're sad, and you have to look
Okay.
like you're serious, right? Like my sister, for example, she's a nurse and she doesn't have FE. She's an ENFP, right? So something
Mm.
bad will happen to the family member in the hospital, and she'll tell them the bad news, and she'll be smiling, right? And I'm like, and she was, and, and then and like she, she's like, oh, you know, your I don't know, like your son has like, you know, one month to live, you know,
What?
like you know, like well, you can't do that, right? Like,
She gonna look like a psychopath.
yeah, you look like a sociopath, right? Like,
Yeah, man.
like you need to have the appropriate, like it's fake, but you need to have the appropriate, like, you know, facial expression or
Yeah.
tone of voice and everything, you know.
That's hard to do, man. Like your son has 1 month to live, then I have to force a frown on my face or something like that, or force
Yeah,
some kind of. And emotions don't work like that for me. They're just my body provides some kind of response in my face rather than my face like forming into a response like purposely or something like that.
yeah. Like if you're happy, then it's genuinely you're happy, right? Or
Yeah.
if you're sad, it's because you're actually sad. It's not like you're faking anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like, let's say you're taking a picture and somebody tells you to smile in the picture. Could you smile in the picture?
yeah, I can.
Wow. I can't, like, if that's difficult for me.
No, but I
Like if
just
someone smile, I'm just like,
no, I just smile. I just think about like a happy moment in my life, you know, and I'll smile.
oh, so you think you can conjure up a smile.
Yeah,
I feel like FE can just like use the muscles in their mouth and force a smile.
well, if I force a smile, it hurts my jaw, right? Because it's fake. But like
Yeah.
if I picture a happy moment, like if someone says smile, and I'll think back, it's like, okay, when was I happy? It's like, oh yeah, you know, like let's say I was playing video games with all my buddies, and like I'm having a good time, right? So like I'll just like
Oh, okay.
for that, and I can smile, right? Because like
Oh,
so it's genuine, but it's not because someone told me to smile. It's because I pictured a time
yeah.
that made me really happy.
That's hard for me to do.
Yeah, so it's like using things that happened in the past, kind of like to conjure up that
Yeah.
emotion. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try that next time. But when people tell me to smile, I'm just like I'll try to pop something on my face, and it's like I just don't have the proper internal state to smile.
Well, no, you can also do like the FE smile, right? Like you just look at the picture of an FE and like copy their face, you know, like
Yeah. It's like
yeah, that is a
it's
smile.
always like,
No, but
and I can't do
fine
that.
though. The smile is not in your mouth; it's your eyes actually. So this
Oh,
is
for FE?
so like I'll give you an example. Like there's a lot of Enneagram Type 3 ESTJs out there. They usually work in sales, and when they smile at you, they look like slimy people, right? Because it's like this.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
their eyes are like, whatever.
well the eyes is not real, right? Like the mouth's like this.
Yeah.
The eyes is the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's not a
So you
smile.
gotta like,
You know, it's
I don't
fake.
know how to do it.
So
Yeah.
like, and the reason why they messed up, why they come across as slimy, is because the eyes gave them away, right? Like the eyes has
Yeah.
to be genuine. So like a genuine smile would be like
Because you got something in the eyes or something, like your lower eyelids are like getting
like it's coming out, like the happiness has to be coming out of the eye, right? So you have to like
yeah,
force it out of your eyes, you know,
like the cheeks are like pushing up towards the lower eyelids,
something like that. But
something
like
like that.
you know, you can smile without smiling, right? Like your eyes can be smiling,
Yeah.
right? You know, so it's like it's in the eyes, man. So anyways,
Okay, that makes sense.
we're gonna go wrap up this interview pretty soon. I just want to ask
All
you
right.
what tip. So one of the biggest problems that INFPs have is with a tribe, essentially. So you know, tribes kind of getting upset at you for being too selfish. What have you done in your life to kind of like improve in that, where you've had less time now where the tribe is getting upset at you, and you're more or less the tribe is more getting happier with you as a person, instead of you being accused of being selfish. You know, it's like, what have you done
Uh,
that help you appease the tribe more?
well, um, mm, I don't know about me, but I watched a video of a guy who I suspect is INFP, and he's like super successful now, and I was like, man, that's awesome. And what he said was, which clicked with me, because my issue, especially when it comes to work and stuff, I watched like Dave Superpower's video about like Demon TE and Stephen Colbert being INFP, and he has to go to work and do things he hates. He has to appease the tribe, and that it's worth it. And I was like, yeah, but I hate doing things I hate, and that doesn't work for me. But this INFP was like, you know, people tell you to work hard and do things that you don't like and put all this energy in it. And for me, that's very difficult. But what he said was, look what people want, and then look at and find out what people want, and then see if you can get excited about that, and then you can be able to provide. You find like a nice overlap between your passion and what's demanded, so you can serve the tribe with your passion. And I was just like, that's a much better approach for me, rather than just me going and doing the 9 to 5 grind about something I don't care about, you know, serving the tribe something I don't care about. So when he told me that, he was like, when the guy said that, he didn't tell me that, but like on the video, he was like, yeah, find out what the tribe wants. That's how I read it. And then see if you can get excited about what the tribe wants, so that you can give yourself to the tribe. And that hit it home for me. I was like, instead of sitting there trying to appease the tribe and sacrificing yourself, because that's going to be painful and suck, find out what the tribe wants, and then find out what you like, and find that place where those two things exist. So yeah.
And have you got a chance to practice this new concept that you've learned about?
I'm going to practice it. My church right now is going through a rebrand. and I love branding. I read a couple books about branding. I love branding because I get to go in there and like use all my branding knowledge and help these folks, and they need something, and I'm also excited about it. So it's like, let's do this thing. So I'm excited about that. So this will be the first time I get to sort of practice that sort of thing.
So
Actually, there was one time I got to practice it. Like right out of college, there was like a small gaming studio, and they were like, they needed like somebody, like I was really into 2D animation, and they needed somebody to 2D animate. And so I got the job really quickly because what I was excited about was what they needed. And I was like, oh, this is how getting a job works. And that was definitely, I love those moments where like what I want to do and what people need are like synonymous. I hate those moments where what people need and what I want to do are not the same thing, because it's like I got to throw myself out and serve the tribe, and it's soul crushing. My last job was soul crushing in that cliche term, but yeah, I was appeasing the tribe, but I hated it. It was boring as all hell. Yeah, so I have to find a way to appease the tribe with what I want to do at the same time. Maybe not 100%, but at least like 45, 55, 65% of what I want to do. So yeah.
Well, dude, I 100% relate to what you just said, because
Yeah?
it's hard to do something for other people if you don't even like that thing. So
Yes.
yeah, 100%. I 100% get you. Like basically everything I do right now, it's pretty much I like. Like I don't do anything.
Yeah.
But I always try to match it with what the tribe likes. Like.
Okay. Because
So
you're double decided, so you can.
It's always about it's like a matching game essentially. Like. Like they said that if you want to be better at being a double decider, even if you're a single decider, you got to go watch what the double deciders are doing, right? So for me, I need to go watch you guys. I need to watch the double observers and kind of see, why are you cool with freedom and control? Like, why are you more or less okay with it? And then you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you have
we
to.
need to watch you guys to see why you guys are good with self and tribe.
Yeah, and then I need to watch you guys and see why you're good with control and chaos. So.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, dude.
I'm good with control and chaos because I used to play that Sonic game where they used to do like chaos control with the little emeralds or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played that game.
Sonic?
Yeah. He used to always be like chaos control with these stupid little emeralds. Every time you say that, I think of that game. That's SI right there. Your NE triggered my SI right there.
Yeah. I played it. I don't remember though. Anyways, dude, it was awesome interviewing today. I think we had so much, like, it was like NE to the max, man. Like, there was so much to talk about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. I appreciate it.
We'll wrap this up. And again, man, that was such a good interview. So I'll just
all right, man.
All right. Peace, dude.
All right. Peace out, man. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to put my perk name in the title.
Yeah, of course.
Pixel. All right, man. Peace.